What is going on, Patriots Nation? This is Jace back with another Mock Draft Monday today for the Patriots Draft Podcast. Guys, happy 2024. Happy New Year. Hope 2023 was great for you guys. Excited to get into this mock draft season and the draft season. Hopefully, there's a couple more positives for the Patriots coming into the 2024 season. But without further ado, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and let's get right into this mock draft. Real quick, guys, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. With Underdog's NFL Pick'em, they make it super easy to win big on any given night. They have individual player props or daily fantasy and are legal in 41 of the 50 states. Right now, they are doubling your first deposit up to $100 when you use code PATSDRIVE or use the link in the description. All you have to do is select higher or lower and submit your wager for as low as $1 to win anywhere from 3 times to 20 times your money. You can also compete against thousands in Underdog Fantasy's daily fantasy tournaments ranging anywhere from football to baseball to basketball. Whatever sport it is, there's a tournament for you. Now with Underdog's Pick'em Insurance, you can still win money even if one of your picks does not hit. So head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog app. Make sure to use code PATCHDRIVE or use the link in our description to get started today. Okay, what is going on, guys? Welcome back. Let's start off with a couple things that happened this week in week 17 and what kind of pushed the Patriots to where we're at right now. Patriots went into this week with the 4th overall pick because of the Cardinals' victory over the Eagles, which was a huge surprise. The Patriots moved up to number 3. Now, you might have seen that they were at number 2. They were at number 3. They bounced back and forth. That's because they're tied with both Washington and Arizona at 4 and 12. Arizona has a much higher advantage strength of schedule than both those teams, so they're at the 4th pick. The Patriots have a .518 strength of schedule, and the Washington Commanders have a .515 strength of schedule. So that was kind of fluctuating as games were finishing. Now, there's kind of a little cheat sheet I have right here for you guys for next week's game and what can help the Patriots possibly get the number 2 overall pick. Obviously, the first thing is you got to lose to the Jets because we don't think that Washington is going to beat the Cowboys. So they will most likely finish 4 and 13. So the Patriots have to lose to the Jets to finish 4 and 13. And then they need a couple of these things to happen to help the strength of schedule. You need Houston to beat Indianapolis. You need Chicago to beat Green Bay, Denver to beat the Raiders, Baltimore to beat Pittsburgh. And then above them all, the one that's going to count the most, you need the Falcons to beat the Saints. That will help the Patriots strength of schedule going into the final draft haul, and then hopefully they can get the number 2 overall pick. Right now, they're sitting at the 3rd overall pick. So I did my mock draft at the 3rd overall pick. Tell you guys, again, we're only going 3 rounds. We're not going to do any trades yet, and we'll get into more in depth as we go. But this is kind of where I started and what I saw the Patriots doing and what I think maybe the draft is going to be going into if the draft were to start this week. The Panthers locked up the number 1 pick, which obviously belongs to the Bears. So let's start off. I have the Patriots taking Drake May. Well, the reasoning behind this, I honestly don't think that the Bears move on from Justin Fields. I think that they stay there. I think they take Marvin Harrison Jr. If not, they trade back. Now, obviously, I didn't do trades at all, and I'll talk about that in another mock draft. But if the Bears do look to move back, and possibly maybe the Patriots move up to number 1, maybe the Giants move up to number 1, then I think there's a very likely possibility that the Patriots don't have an opportunity at Caleb Williams or Drake May because they could go 1 and 2. In this mock draft with no trades, I think the Bears, with the way Justin Fields are playing, people forget they're 7 and 9. They're on the brink of a playoff spot. This pick only belongs to them because of the Bryce Young trade last year. So I think they stick with Marvin Harrison Jr., give him another or give Justin Fields another weapon. They're bringing back Eberflus, their coach. So then I think that puts Washington in a spot to take Caleb Williams if they stay the number 2 pick, which then obviously gives the Patriots an opportunity to take Drake May, who I think is a generational prospect in himself. Big time arm, can make any throw on the field. People forget that college hashes are a lot wider than NFL hashes. So him making throws from the left hash to the numbers is even farther than what he'll ever have to make in the NFL. And he does that with ease. He has a great deep ball grade at 96.8. He can complete passes when he's under pressure, when he doesn't have any pressure in his face. Can throw the deep ball very good. I stand by this. I don't think that he has that much of a stronger arm than Caleb Williams, but I think that he has one of the biggest cannons of an arm like that. And that's kind of a flaw too. When I talk about um, he has a cannon. Sometimes he needs to throw with a little bit more touch, especially down the field. Although he did throw a really good deep ball. He was only behind Michael Penix in passing yards beyond 20 plus yards. Michael Penix led college football with just over 1,500. Drake May was at 1,452. He had 13 touchdowns of passes over 20 plus yards. He completed the most big time throws of 32, which was of his 40 completions. 32 of them were big time throws. He has all the tools. And a lot of people are going to say, well, yeah, well, Caleb Williams can run and blah, blah, blah. Well, Drake May can too. Drake May actually had more rushing yards than Caleb Williams did this year. Not as many touchdowns, but that's one of the things about Drake May. He's bigger in size. He's going to be 6'4", 230 compared to Caleb Williams, who's only going to be 6'1". He has that huge frame. That's why he has that big, strong cannon of an arm. He throws accurately. He's able to run. He can extend the play if he wants to. Kind of a lot of the things that Mac Jones doesn't have, that a lot of Patriots fans are complaining about. Drake May has. And a lot of people are going to compare him to Mitchell Trubisky. Guys, that's an unfair comparison. Just because he went to North Carolina does not mean he's Sam Howell or Mitchell Trubisky. That is the most unfair comparison I've ever heard. Okay, so stop saying that. Go watch the film. Drake May makes better throws than Trubisky. He has a stronger arm than Trubisky did. He runs better than he does. Drake May is not even on the same level of a prospect as Mitchell Trubisky was. Now, they might go in the same kind of, range, but Drake May is a generational prospect. And if it wasn't for Caleb Williams and probably Trevor Lawrence in the last 5 years, Drake May would be the next best, or he would be the best quarterback prospect out of the last couple of classes. So I just think it's unfair to put Drake May in that category. So I'd be stoked to get Drake May for the Patriots, get him at the 3rd overall pick, let him develop and see what he can become. If you're taking a quarterback round 1, you've got to find a way to address the offensive line situation. I have the Patriots doing that by taking left tackle out of the University of Arizona, who arguably was one of the biggest surprises in college football this year. A team that went and just beat Oklahoma in the, I believe, Alamo Bowl. Jordan Morgan's a guy that has played 3 straight years. Okay. He's played 700 snaps in 2021 at left tackle, 667 in 2022, and 785. So for the last 3 years, he hasn't played any other position other than left tackle. Sounds like what the Patriots need, right? Keep Michael Winner at right tackle, draft Jordan Morgan. The reason I think he falls, he's coming off an ACL injury. So he suffered an ACL injury in November of 2022. He's coming off of that. He played well. He recovered, didn't have any setbacks in 2023, played well, was a huge part of that Arizona offense that was, kind of taking college football by storm. The reason I think he falls this late, he's got a little bit of length issues. People might not think of him as a tackle at the next level, but what I think he's so good at and why I do think he is a tackle at the next level is because of his size. He's going to be 6'5", maybe close to 6'6", but I don't think he's going to hit that 6'6" threshold. He's going to be 325 pounds. And the way this guy moves, the way he bends, his functional strength, he's special. He's a special athlete for as big as a size that he is. He's good and he has very good upper body strength. When he gets his hands on you, he's can manhandle you. And so the one thing that's going to bump him down is going to be the arm length. And I think that that's kind of the one thing that people are wondering is he going to meet the threshold to play offensive tackle? I have no problem playing at him at left tackle. I don't think that it's going to be as big of a problem as some of the other guys. We'll see what his arm measurements are. If his arms are under 33, that's usually the threshold for offensive tackles. But I think Jordan Morgan's athletic enough, he's strong enough, and he's played enough and has enough experience that he's going to be able to come in, especially if you were to get him at the top of the 2nd round, and probably be a day 1 starter with this offensive line. You have Jordan Morgan left tackle, Micah Winu right tackle, and then figure out your front or your inside 3, whether it's David Andrews, Sidney Sal, Antonio or Mafi, or Cole Strange comes back, hopefully. There's options there, and I would love Jordan Morgan there. Another guy, which I'll talk about in future mock drafts, I'm sure, Patrick Paul out of Houston, a little bit longer, a little bit taller, probably a guy that might be gone a little earlier, but we'll see if he could be there. Then these are 2 of the kind of 1st round or 2nd round tackles I could see New England targeting, because they need to overhaul that offensive line. This week's game against Buffalo, Bailey Zappi was it was bad. They need time. Whoever's back at quarterback, I don't want to just throw Drake May back there saying they get him, let him be thrown to the Wolves. They need to find someone that can protect for him. So that's going to be a big thing for me. And then last pick for me right here in the third round, I'm going to stay in on the in the trenches. Okay, it's not going to be an offensive lineman. I'm going to take who I think the best college football player was this year. That wasn't, kind of a skill position. That's T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas, guys. Excuse me. This guy was 6'4", 360 pounds. Okay, people are going to be like, he might have weight issues, which is a fair argument. But this guy has an elite bull rush. No one can stop him. I'm just thinking of how exciting it would be to have Christian Barmore and T'Vondre Sweat as our defensive tackles. Probably don't re-sign Josh Uche, but you have Matt Judon and Keon White working the outsides. I think that might be one of the best young and upcoming front sevens. We all know what Barmore already is. Keon White was a second-round pick last year that I think has shown flashes towards the end of it. Matt Judon's going to be an all-pro level type of player if he can stay healthy. And T'Vondre Sweat is kind of a guy that's going to come in and be almost like Dontari Poe, a true one technique. He's going to be super athletic for being 360 pounds. He's going to be able to stop the run. He's going to be a two-gapper. He would fill the Vince Wilfork role, in my opinion. Very twitchy, going to take up a ton of space, be able to get off blocks. He's strong, but he also can rush the passer. He's very good and very deliberate with his hands, gets offensive linemen's hands off of him. He can make moves. I think that T'Vondre Sweat in the middle of this Patriots defense would be a huge boost to help stopping the run. And this was already a unit who was one of the best at stopping the runs in the last 6 weeks of the season. But if, say, you want to move on from Godchaw because he's getting a little older, Lawrence Guy, get a guy in there with Christian Barmore into T'Vondre Sweat and let him and Barmore go and start eating. So he does have the weight size, which we talked about. He's going to be 360 pounds. You don't want to see him get much heavier than that. He's going to start losing athleticism. His endurance is going to come into question. And he's not going to have the top end speed, but he's twitchy enough and he has enough of the experience. The dude's playing at Texas. He's been playing some of the best offensive linemen and dominating them. Him and Byron Murphy, the other defensive lineman for Texas, are a huge reason that team is in the college football playoff and had some of the great opportunities that they had. So the one thing that worries me about T'Vondre Sweat, I don't think he gets to the third round. This is what happened in the mock draft. I honestly don't think he gets here. This might be a guy the Patriots would have to maybe trade up for in the second if he falls. Maybe a Christian Barmore type of guy. I don't think this guy makes it as far. The combination of size and speed, athleticism, what he does in the run game and what he can get to in the pass game, I don't see him making it to pick 67 for the Patriots. If he was there, you better run that card up there because I think that he's a game changer there, especially with Christian Barmore, like I said. So I would love any of these three guys. Again, talking about it, Drake May. Some people are going to lean Caleb Williams. Some are going to lean Drake May. Some of you might want Jaden Daniels. All three of them are going to come in and probably start for the Patriots right away. But the Patriots got to build around them too. They got to get tackle help. That's why Jordan Morgan comes in. Have a guy that has over 700 snaps the last 3 years in college football. Let him come in, hopefully start day one, and be able to protect for Drake May and then get that line healthy. Make Michael Winu's permanent spot right tackle, get Cole Strange going, David Andrews, figure out your right guard spot. Maybe you make a trade, maybe you sign someone, and then bulking up the offense or defensive line with T'Vondre Sweat. Man, this would be an awesome draft for me. PFF graded an A. Let me know down below what you guys think. Again, hope you guys had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. Happy 2024. Hopefully the Patriots and Patriots fans enjoy 2024 a little bit more than 2023. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. Use our code at Underdog Fantasy to help support the channel and turn on the notification bell. So when we do go live and we're doing live mock drafts and stuff, you guys can tune in. Let us know your opinions. We'll talk with you. So appreciate everything, all your support. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you guys later.